Now I'm going to select this foot bone here, and I'm going to constrain its orientation to the orientation of the IK handle. So whenever the IK handle is going to change position, the orientation of the foot is going to keep with that new position. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to choose animation constraints and orientation constraint, and I'll click on the IK handle. Now the first thing that happens is that the foot bone is going to rotate, so I'm going to go to the motion panel and scroll down and choose keep initial offset, and that will give it the same orientation as the IK handle, but it will keep its initial position like so. So now when I rotate the handle, I will see that the foot is going to rotate along. I'm going to select my foot or my toe bone object here, and I'm going to go to the motion panel, and I will look at the rotation controller, and here I see that I have the Euler XYZ controller. What I need to do now is have another Euler XYZ controller, and you'll see the reason for that in a moment. So I'm going to select the rotation and choose assign controller and choose rotation list. So now I still have my original Euler XYZ, but I'm going to click on available and click on assign controller again, and this time select Euler XYZ. And now I'm going to see that I have two Euler XYZ controllers. I'm going to use the first one to give it the negative rotation from the foot roll controller, and I'm going to use the second one to adjust the rotation manually later on. So the first thing that I will do is select this foot object, this toe bone object, right click and choose wire parameters. Now I'll choose transform, rotation, Euler XYZ, and I'll choose Z rotation. And now I'm going to click on the rectangle 2 in this case, but that's going to be named later to foot roll left. So I'm going to select it and choose transform, rotation, and Z rotation. Now I want the rectangle to control the bone, so I'm going to click on this arrow here, and I want the bone to have the exact negative rotation as the angle in the Z axis, so I'll type in negative Z rotation and I'll choose connect. And now I'm going to close this, and I'll see that this bone, the foot bone, rotated a little bit downwards, and I'm going to fix this in a second using the second Euler XYZ controller. But first let's test the rotation. So I'm going to click on the I'm going to call this rectangle foot roll right. Okay, so I'm going to select it and rotate in the X axis, and here I will see that my foot bone is static in a way, but what I have to do next is go to my left view, and first of all I want to adjust the rotation of this foot here bone. So I'm going to select it, and I'll go to the motion panel, scroll down and select the second Euler XYZ and choose set active, and now I can rotate it manually like so. Okay, so having done this, I'm going to select the controller again, and I'm going to rotate, and I'll see that the bone is moving up a little bit, which is not what I really want. The reason for that is that the pivot point of that bone is not really aligned with the pivot point of the foot rotator. So I'm going to go to hierarchy and choose affect pivot only, and I'll move the pivot point of the rectangle like so. Go back to modify. So now whenever I rotate, I'm going to see that the toes are going to stay static. Okay, so having done this, I'm almost done with the foot. I'm going to select my up vector object here, which I'm going to call up vector foot right, and I'm going to link it to the rectangle here that I'm going to call foot right. So select it and link it like so. So now if I select the foot controller and move it up, I'm going to see that the whole leg is going to move up, and if I rotate it, it's going to rotate from the heel, and if I rotate this circle, it's going to rotate the toes. I'm going to call this circle toe controller or control right. And if I select the rectangle and rotate it, I will have my foot roll like so. So my foot is done. Next, I'm going to duplicate it to create the left foot. I'm going to select all these objects over here, and to create a mirror symmetrical across the world, I'm going to use transform coordinate center, and I'll choose world for that. So now everything I create as a mirror is going to be mirrored symmetrical with respect to the world. So I'll choose now tools and mirror, and I'll make sure that mirror IK limits is selected, and I'll choose copy, and I'll press OK. Having done this, I don't need any more to be in the world coordinate system, so I'll go back to my regular view. Okay, so there, I've done that. Let's test the other foot. So if I select the other one here and move it up, it's going to move, and it's going to rotate properly. And the same goes for the toe controller and for the foot roll controller. So I don't need to do anything. Everything is mirrored properly. The only thing I need to do though is change the colors. So I'm going to hide the geometry, and I'm going to select these bones here. So I'm going to double click on this one. When I double click, I select all the children of the selected object, and I'll give them a red color. And I'll do the same for this one. So double click and choose red. For the other ones, it needs to be blue and light blue. So I'll double click here and choose a dark blue color, and select this one to give it blue. For these controllers, they need to be light blue, like so. And of course I need to change the names. So where this is called foot R, it should be called foot left, and this is called foot roll left, and this is called toe control left. Okay, so everything is very nice now. I also have to rotate, change the name of this one to up vector foot left. Okay, so my feet are done, and it's a good thing to save the file right now.